So we've all heard of Glattbur at this point, and how it's a merging of glatt and ghostbur. Well, that gives me an excuse to talk about how much I love Wilbur's writing, and how his writing of Jschlatt and his own character works so well in the SMP. So I'm just gonna take this time so I can get some free views while talking about something I've wanted to talk about for a while, but I just didn't have a good enough computer to talk about. Also, I apologize for my voice. I am sick with a cold. Anyways, I'll just get on to the video. So Wilbur was the main writer of the SMP from the revolution to the death of his character. He took a break from writing to focus on personal project and songs he's writing. I really like Wilbur's writing personally. It's really well done and well paced. I'm not saying I don't like the recent writing, of course, all the writers are amazing, especially Rambo. I have a video of his coming out soon. But I especially love Wilbur's due to the fact that he knows how to really build up characters well and do a lot of world building. Which I guess is to be expected with the type of person Wilbur is. He's a very creative and amazing songwriter as well, so, you know, you'd expect him to be fairly good at writing. So I just wanted to discuss my opinions on his writing in a short little video, because I wanted to get some video out, I don't know, because I have a long video I'm making with a lot of proper editing, and I need to re-record the audio for Rambo and my theories about his character, so I decided to make a quick little video. Discussing Wilbur's writing, and so I might as well start the video discussing what I want to talk about, and that is Jschlatt and Wilbur as characters, and how their character arcs basically mirrored each other, and how both of their rises to quote-unquote power led to their demise. So obviously Wilbur's character before Jschlatt really joined, he was the president of L'Manberg and created the country himself with the help of Tommy, Tubbo, and Fundy, and later Nietzsche. He decided to make the election and legitimize his rule, but was originally going to plan to rig it so that way he could win, so that way they would have to follow him, even though that technically would not make sense, because if there's only one way to vote, a one-party voting system, either way you're basically placing yourself in rule. So even if they do quote-unquote vote for you, it doesn't legitimize your rule at all. You need an opposing party so you can prove that people want you over others. Of course, though, this plan does backfire, and Quackity does join before he closes the ballot, and later, even after the closing of the ballot, Jschlatt and Coconut join. Obviously, we all know the coalition government happened, and Quackity and Jschlatt assumed power and kicked out Wilbur and Tommy due to the fact that Jschlatt viewed them as tyrants, due to the fact that they wanted to control the election, and Wilbur placed himself in the presidential seat. And this is where I wanted to start discussing the character arc Jschlatt and Wilbur had. So, obviously, it starts out normal with Jschlatt being like, alright, now I'm president, I'm gonna change a few things about the nation. Wilbur's like, oh, this fucking sucks, that little bitch, sort of thing. And, you know, Fundy destroys the walls, burns the flag, Nietzsche gets upset. Both Nietzsche and Tommy on different occasions burn down the original flag that Jschlatt had made, and then they rebuilt a new one out of obsidian, you know, the full story. The character arcs really start to catch on whenever Wilbur goes insane and wants to blow up L'Manberg, or Manberg at this time, because Jschlatt had changed the name. Tommy tries to stop Wilbur from going insane, but with the support of Dream and kinda Technoblade, he ends up going crazy wanting to destroy it, saying that if he can't have it, no one else can, so he plants TNT under it. Along with Wilbur's descent into madness, Jschlatt was also becoming worse with his alcoholism and his addiction to cigarettes and protein powder. Also, a bit of steroids he experimented with now and again. But he was also a very prideful person, and he already had health issues to begin with, to the point where at one point he was on his deathbed but got better and was able to continue running the country, which I don't think a lot of people actually know about that fact. I didn't for the longest time until I did research for another video I have coming out later, where Quackity almost assassinated Jschlatt because he was on his deathbed. So Jschlatt and Wilbur basically started slowly descending into madness, with Wilbur wanting to destroy everything, being in perfect health condition, but still going absolutely fucking insane, and not giving a shit really about others around him. Obviously, he still technically cared, but as shown by the Manberg Festival, whenever Tubbo was killed by Techno, he was at first visibly upset, but after a little later, when things kind of settled down, he used the execution of Tubbo to try to propose his ideals and show people why they should go against Manberg and they should just give up and blow it up. And instead of caring about Tommy and his feelings whenever, you know, Tubbo was blown up by a Technoblade, he egged him on to the point where they got in a fist fight, Tommy and Technoblade, and one which Tommy got extremely hurt, obviously, because he was beaten because he died and respawned, you know? And he slowly started to not give a shit and just want to blow up shit. But along with that, Jschlatt slowly kind of descended into madness himself, being very prideful, not giving a shit about his citizens really, losing citizens like Nicky, Fundy, and Quackity, most importantly, with the destruction of the White House, which is kind of the downfall of his entire presidency, was that destruction of the White House. So with this, it was inevitable that eventually the two, with their sides, Poctopia and Manberg, would go head-to-head in a vicious battle, which ended up happening, with a few citizens from Manberg, which would include people like Carl and Purpled, with the help of Dream and his people, to go against the people of Poctopia in a head-to-head battle. And in the end, Jschlatt died in a poetic way, to fit his character, died to his own pride. No one could kill him except himself, which shows the strength Jschlatt has, but how his main weakness and strength is his pride, and the most deadliest, and how he could stand up to his enemies with no fear, but at the same time he was too prideful to go and get his health checked out, and ended up dying due to a heart attack. So obviously after Jschlatt dies, the whole presidency thing, and Wilbur's like, no, I don't want to be president because I'm kind of an anarchist now, and he gives the presidency over to Tubbo, which leads to the actual destruction of L'Manberg, because Tubbo was the worst president, and L'Manberg blew up twice under his rule. Speaking of which, Wilbur goes into the button room where he's visited by Filza, who's like, hey, don't do it, and later Filza destroys L'Manberg, and he presses the button. His descent into madness led him to believe that no matter what, this place can't exist anymore, and that whenever he lost the election, it was far gone and doesn't deserve to exist. And obviously the place blows up, and it wasn't even that big of a crater. Like, they hyped it up to be this horrible thing, and they just built over it in the end. So then obviously Tubbo was now president and tries rebuilding L'Manberg and shit. So now Tubbo's president, and being president, he makes Tommy his vice, obviously, and makes his cabinet consisting of him, Tommy, Quackity, and Fundy originally. He also allows Carl, but at this point they just don't invite Carl to anything, and now that the country's gone, it's like, bruh, poor Carl, no wonder he joined Jschlatt's side. Jschlatt actually gave a shit about him. Oh, as much as Jschlatt can give a shit about people, but still. I have a video coming out, like, after the Rambo video about how Jschlatt isn't all that bad, and he was probably the best president. And literally every character, I'm pretty sure at this point in the SMP, just secretly knows that and doesn't want to admit it, just because they're salty at the fact that they're kind of the ones that ruin L'Manberg. But anyways, that's a video for another time. So we all know after all this happened, Tommy was exiled, you know, the whole thing with Technoblade happened, and the entire country just got blown up. After that whole thing happened, Ghostbur appears, and he's like, bruh, I want to get resurrected. So they're like, alright, let's resurrect Ghostbur. Before we do that, let's have Tommy struck by natural lightning and some form of bad luck. After that happened, on January 10th, they tried the resurrection process, which we all know how well that went. The first time, nothing happened. The second time, Jschlatt merged with good old Ghostbur. At this point, I don't think it's going to be any major thing. They're probably going to try to resurrect him with the totem, and it's not going to work, and he's just going to be stuck as Ghostbur with Jschlatt in his head. And it's just kind of be a joke thing. Whenever Wilbur and Jschlatt just want to mess around, they probably will just join the SMP in the same call and fuck with some people's streams as Glattbur, I think is the name now. I don't think it's going to be anything major, because I'm pretty sure Jschlatt doesn't want to join the SMP again, and Wilbur still has his projects to work on, so, you know, they're probably not going to resurrect him. Also, Wilbur has said that resurrection is not a thing, so most likely it is just going to be, like, a little minor character arc thing relating to Jschlatt and Wilbur's characters as ghosts, and just kind of be played off for laughs, or maybe they'll never even touch it again, who knows. I might be wrong about this, since it's become like a major plot point or some shit, and I'm gonna be like, bruh. And that's all for this video. Subscribe so you can actually check out my other two videos that I'm actually gonna try on, instead of just this one where I just kind of put a speedrun together and some audio. I'm actually gonna, I actually have sprites and stuff that I'm gonna use in the video, and it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be a lot longer video. And the first one's gonna be about Ranboo, and the second one's gonna be about Jschlatt. But I just wanted to get this video out here because I'm like, yeah, it's something fun to talk about, so might as well. Anyways, please like and subscribe, and wait for the next two videos that are gonna be great, and also follow me on Twitch, because I'm gonna start streaming after I get the Ranboo video out. See you, and bye.